John, you there? Hi, John. Oops. I think your audio is muted. Can you hear me?
Hi, John. Hi, Alan.
Hi. Hi, Rita.
I can hear you. John, I think I just heard you too.
Oh,
I'm
good.
here.
Okay, yeah. How you feeling?
Me, I'm feeling okay.
Good.
There's a little cold going around,
Yeah.
which is a relief,
But-
actually.
COVID, huh?
No.
Yeah, I heard other people say they had a cold.
Mm.
Must be scary though. You think you have COVID,
Well,
right?
yeah, you have to take a deep breath and hope for the best, really.
Yeah. I don't know why my video isn't up. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah, it just went out. It's come back. Well, it's. Hey, Rita. Can you hear me? Rita.
Yes.
Oh, boy, your video is way off from the sound. We've been having problems with our
Mine
network.
is.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
boy, there's a big delay.
Okay, well,
Linda, say something.
must be the snow.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, so she's okay. How about you, Elaine?
Hello.
So Rita, you're the only one that's having is weird.
Rita, you
mean,
might
yeah.
try
Okay.
restarting
All
the
right.
Zoom session. That might.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. Okay, I'll be right back. Is that any better?
Yes.
Say something.
Okay. Something.
Yeah, there you go. Hold on.
It's a little better. It's still quite a lag. Listen, what I was
Yeah.
about to tell you, Rita, it was a minute ago, is that we've been having trouble with our internet connection today. So if I disappear, you're going to have to take over.
And it's saying my network bandwidth is low.
Busy.
Yeah, so I think we have problems. Well, anyway, let's hope for the best, and maybe we ought to get started.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
let's
that.
do this. Yes.
Quick. Yeah.
Yeah, quick. Has everybody read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes,
Yes.
Does
Yes.
anybody want to make a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept.
Second? Linda, you second?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, I second.
I thought you were about to, and
Yeah.
okay, so motion been made and second. In favor, Rita,
Farrell, yes.
Linda,
Aye. Yes.
Elaine,
Paleo, yes.
John,
Yes.
and me, yes. Okay, so the motion is made and passed. So there are two things we have to do today, and that's to consider. Do you want to talk, Linda, or sorry, Linda, geez, Rita, do you want to talk about what our town council said before we get started with this, just quick?
Wait a minute, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Who's taking minutes? And we know that Michael's not going to make it. Did we hear anything from
Margie?
Maggie?
No, haven't heard anything from her for months.
Margie.
Margie, I'm sorry.
Yes, it seems like we probably ought to, maybe not today, but put on our agenda to talk about that position, the community at large position.
Right,
Yeah.
so she's not responded to emails or,
Yeah.
so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
Am I taking minutes?
Yeah.
if you can't, can you?
That's what I'm doing right now.
That's good, that's
Thank you.
that's wonderful. So you're actually capable of doing it. Okay. So let's go back to Sarita. Do you want to make a quick
Right.
statement about what our town council?
Yeah.
said?
I can. I mean, I'm still having really, bandwidth is low. I sent out the opinions from Donna McNichol. There were actually two different things that she sent to the Preservation Committee. One was regarding the questions on the original historic applications that we had gotten for signage and for documenting Native American sites. And it was our initial reaction was confirmed by Donna that neither of those are eligible for CPA funding. Subsequent to that, I sent her an inquiry about when I guess the open space one, the original mapping was another question. And then the question about the open space plan, and I did not ask her about trails because that was clearly something, in my mind anyway, that was eligible. So the second piece of correspondence that we got back from Donna, I was gonna pull it up here so that I believe I sent that to everybody last night or this morning. Did you get that?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. And, she went back to, and, just cautioned us about whether or not we were creating, I think, rehabilitating, acquisition
Preserving.
within the open space. I'm
preserve-
sorry?
Preserving.
Preserving. And not because the support category does not apply to anything with the exception of affordable housing. That's the only category where you can support. So those were kind of the points that she was making. And I think that was pretty clear to distinguish between what supports the difference between support, preservation, acquisition, and what's the third one? The eligible in the eligible activities, creating. Thank you.
Creating,
Sorry.
yeah.
It's quite the morning. So that's sort of where we are. I think maybe if we just take the two applications and based on that information, make a decision as to, and our read of the statute as to the eligibility for the two applications that we have before us for determination of eligibility, both of which are from the Conservation Commission.
Okay, so anybody have any questions?
No,
Okay,
thank
so
you. Rita.
go ahead, Linda.
No, I just said thank you, Rita,
Oh.
for reporting from
Okay.
Donna.
So should we take the Conservation Commission application first? This is the Southbrook Conservation Area. And Penny says CPA funds would allow assessment of current trails, rerouting of trails that have negatively impacted sensitive areas, development of new trails in upland areas, and designation of appropriate uses for each trail. So in my mind, this is creation of recreational facilities and it's eligible. That's my view.
Yes,
I concur.
me too.
I'd just like to point out, in my opinion, that there's actually three parts to this. One is the ecological assessment. The other is the usage plan. And the third is the rerouting of trails. And I don't think the usage plan or the assessment qualify, but the rerouting of trails does. Does that?
I think you need to do those things in order to do the rerouting of trails.
Yes.
I mean, that would be my interpretation.
And
That
that's
if you
why-
don't do, I'm sorry, I'm really delayed and you all are.
Blurry.
So my sense is that you have to do that in order to, you have to do that assessment in order to do the other piece of it. And that would qualify, you know, that those activities would qualify, not if they stood alone, but if they are connected to the eligible activity. It's just like where the example I would use is if you had to do architectural drawings to do, or a plan to do the, like the fields at the elementary school, the track. If you had to do a plan, then that's an eligible cost because it's one and it is part of doing the,
Right.
That was also
Yeah.
part of the Old Town Hall project where they had to assess the condition and build a plan based on that in order to do the reparation,
Right.
the work. So yeah, that's the way I read it too, John. I don't,
Well, if anyone gets back to
does that
these
make sense?
people-
John?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Perhaps the rerouting
Okay.
of trails could be mentioned first. And then the others as a
Okay.
corollary so that there's no confusion there, but makes perfect
Okay.
sense. So,
Good.
I mean, in their final proposal. Yeah, that's fine. We could
Yeah.
In
suggest.
the final proposal.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense.
Any other comments?
No,
Great.
I would like to just observe that this project actually needs to occur before the proposal that we already determined to be eligible, which was the mountain bike club trail proposal.
Oh,
You know, in
Okay.
other words, it's the same
okay. That's,
conservation area, so the commission really has to do this, what Penny has written here, prior to the mountain bike club being able, that project to even be processed in a permit level, a wetland permit level.
And we should
Okay, good.
we should ask the Conservation Commission to note in their final proposal, the relationship between those two projects. I think you're right, Linda.
yes. Yeah. That's
Yep.
good because sounds like they are absolutely linked.
Yeah.
Yes,
They are.
yes, the mountain bike club proposal cannot proceed without this action on the part of the commission.
Great.
So, sorry, are you saying that you want the Concom to address the mountain bike proposal in this application?
Well,
I was
presumably,
just making an observation,
Right.
Right.
not a requirement of the proposal from the Concom on my part, but just that, you know, that this, that was just an observation relative to a plan, a proposal, a determination of eligibility we already determined was eligible.
Right, but Al,
So it's a secret.
what I was suggesting, Elaine, was simply that we asked the Conservation Commission when they submit their final proposal to discuss their project in relationship to the
okay,
other project and vice versa. So we just want to make sure that they're talking.
Well, they have to. I mean, Mountain Bike Club has to talk to Concom, and they really can't move forward until the commission has done their part on assessing.
Well, that's true, but we ought to have the same information. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Okay. Should we vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I'll make a motion that we approve the determination of eligibility from the Conservation Commission for the Southbrook Conservation Area Trail work.
Okay,
I'll
all in
second
favor?
that.
Rita? Oh,
I'll
yeah,
second that.
Elaine seconded. All in favor, John?
aye.
Elaine?
aye,
Linda?
Aye.
Rita,
Aye.
Alan, aye. Okay, let's move on to the Open Space Committee proposal.
So let me address this.
Sure.
Can I address this? I keep getting a pop-up saying my internet connection is unstable, so I want to do this fast.
Okay.
So I had written again to Donna McNichol about the open space plan because when the application was submitted to us, I was told by Penny Jakes that FERCog has worked with Franklin Regional Council of Governments has worked with many other communities that have used CPA funds for open space plans. And so I went to a couple of sources. First, Stuart Saganor, who's director of the Community Preservation Coalition. And then I also, after I got his response, which I believe you all have, which is pretty detailed and is actually a really good resource, as we're looking at proposals, because he goes into, details about CPA money that I think it's really great to hear. What Stuart indicated was that no, absolutely open, even though many communities used CPA funds for open space plans, it's now widely regarded that it's an ineligible use of CPA funds. However, and he also addressed the issue of using admin funds. And he said that he felt that also wasn't eligible. I then contacted a woman by the name of Jen Goldson, who is a private consultant, but does a lot of work with CPA communities all throughout the Commonwealth. And she indicated that that what a number of communities and their town council had determined was that while you couldn't use CPA funds, the programmatic funds for open space plans, but that as part of our admin funds, where it would not be a town meeting vote, it would not go before town meeting, but rather, we could make the decision just as a committee that those admin funds could be put towards an open space plan under the section where we as a Community Preservation Committee have a responsibility to study the needs. I have to get this language right. The needs, the priorities. So it's the needs, resources, and possibilities. That's part of our obligation as a committee. So what Jen was suggesting is, you could use some of your admin funds. So
Rita,
two differences of opinion, and I think we need to determine. Now, just one other quick thing. We typically put aside $2,500 every year out of our budget for admin funds. And I don't think we've never spent all of our admin funds. They are used to pay our dues to the Community Preservation Coalition. They're also used to pay for legal ads when we have a public hearing. Last year, at the end of the 2020 fiscal year, we had spent about $650 in total of the $2,500 allocated for admin. This year, I expect our costs will be about $700 for those same activities. And we also have to pay for Donna's time for having done this research for us. And so, that might be another $500 or $600, leaving maybe $1,000 in the admin budget. I'll stop there. Elaine, I know you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. You said that it was, she said that we could use them under the auspices of our obligation to assess. Well, what's the end of that sentence?
Okay, sorry. It's to assess the needs, resources, and possibilities.
Thank you.
You could probably catch this
So
right out of
we,
the,
oh my God.
it should be in the email.
Okay.
May I say something, Rita? If
Yeah.
you turn off your video, it might save you bandwidth that you can then,
Okay,
you know, it might work better for you. Though we can't see your smiling face.
okay, is that better?
Yes.
Let's hope so.
Am I clearer now?
Yes.
Yes, very.
Oh, okay. All right. I wouldn't have gotten so dressed up and, washed my face if I'd known I wasn't gonna have my video on.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's sort of the challenge before us is to say, do we could use admin funds, and as I said, if we were going to use admin funds, it would be outside of the town meeting. It's outside of this DOE, and we don't have to decide today. I mean, we could say it's not eligible for, we determined that it's not eligible for, for CPA funds, but we could at another meeting and maybe after a little bit more research, entertain a proposal to use some admin funds.
May I ask, does the Open Space Committee have admin funds?
The Open Space Committee, as far as I know, has been totally inactive.
Well, there is a new committee now because of the,
Okay.
right, it's,
Right, it says here.
I know that it's Penny and Gail Fleischaker are the new members who are working on the updating of the open space and recreation plan.
It says a new committee was formed this fall.
Yeah.
So they could
Oh,
apply
okay.
directly to town meeting for their own admin funds. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't use ours, but they could also use admin funds from other committees, I guess. It seems,
So there are two issues involved here, and let's separate them out. First of all, I think everybody's agreed that this proposal as written is not eligible for CPC funding.
Should we
CPA.
vote on that?
Now let's have
I'm
a
just trying to
vote.
separate the issues, Elaine, so that
Okay.
we can vote.
Okay.
And then the second issue is whether or not our committee chooses to use admin funds, or whether we should even discuss that with the Open Space Committee. So those are the two things that I see.
Okay.
So I'd like to vote on this particular determination of eligibility as being not eligible. And then we can talk a little bit about whether we want to push on the admin fund issue. Any objections?
No.
Anybody want to make a motion?
So
make
I
a
move,
motion- Okay.
Oh, John, go for it, John.
I make a motion to vote on the determination of eligibility for the Shutesbury Open Space Committee application.
Are you making the motion for it to be eligible or not eligible?
Well, don't we vote on that?
Well, we vote yes or no.
Right, so is it eligible? Question.
No, you have, in your motion, you
have to
have,
say it's-
you have to say which
Which
way
it
we're
is.
going.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I make a motion that it's not eligible.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, Rita,
Farrell, I.
Linda,
Scott, I.
Elaine,
Paleo, aye.
John,
Aye.
Alan, aye. Passes unanimously.
Can I ask now, do we have our funds in our admin account roll over every year? How much do we have in that account?
It starts out at,
Good.
yeah, 2,500, sorry. And then, as I said, last year we spent, I have the figure here. It was
But my question is how much?
600.
How much?
It doesn't roll over.
No.
We have $2,500 minus the $300 that we paid for our dues, and we haven't had any advertising yet. So it's likely that, as I said earlier, we will, sorry, that we'll spend about $700 this year.
Well, I think the question
Out
was
of the
what happens to the funds at the end of the fiscal year?
Right,
And I think
They
I
go
think
back into the general
they go
fund.
back into the general fund.
okay,
Into the, into CPA money, I'm sorry.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
General
CPA
fund.
gen- right, the CPA general funds.
Okay, so they don't roll over
See,
to
Jim.
administrative funds.
No,
Okay,
I don't,
No,
I don't think so.
that was my question.
they do not. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, this year, you know, if we do the same advertising and we have our dues, we'll probably have, let's say it's generously $800 in expenses. And then we have legal expenses of maybe, again, very generously $600, so it's $1,400. We could conceivably have $1,100 balance within the admin fund for this current year. And that does get rolled back over, as we said.
Okay,
into
so
the
go ahead, John.
account.
Doesn't this open a real can of worms? I mean, if we say it's not eligible, but we're going to fund it anyway, and then next year we could ask for $50,000 in our admin funds and just fund everything. I
We
mean,
can't, can't do that.
No, you can't. Huh?
No,
But
no.
it's perfectly legitimate to just fund something that's not fundable.
Well, it's not
That's a
fundable.
very good
under-
question.
Go ahead, Rita.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it would only be related to the committee's obligation to do the, you know, that sort of study of the needs, possibilities. So yeah, it's a little bit of splitting hairs.
So,
And, but
But apparently it's an allowable way of doing it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Elaine, go ahead.
according,
another question though, they're asking for 5,000 and you're saying that we only will have 1,000 left over, so we won't have enough. In our,
that would be for this year. Yeah, we would have, again, would have admin money next year. And yeah, we could only say potentially that we have $1,000 that actually could be spent during this current fiscal year, because the way CPA operates, you all know, I'm sure, that when we, you know, you wait till town meeting vote, and then the CPA funds that are awarded are not available to July 1 of 2020 until the, you know, the beginning of the next fiscal year. The admin funds we currently have are available now. So
We actually don't have to make this decision today. I mean, we could sit on it for,
we do not. And if the, yeah, and if the committee wanted, we could, I did not pose this specific question to Donna about the admin funds,
And
because it came up later.
the Open Space Committee can go to request their own money from town meeting. I mean, wasn't that the way it was funded last time?
I believe they have,
That's correct. As a,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
Did we lose Rita?
I don't think they had any money in the budget this year. I'm sorry, there's a real delay.
Yeah.
So is Alan, maybe as Alan suggested, we defer a decision on this? and we can do more research and/or contact Donna McNichol on this one too.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense to table it and understand a little bit more about the use of admin funds. You know, is this a path we want to go down?
Mhm.
Setting a precedent in some way. And, you know, for, you know, I don't know what in the future, master plan, I don't know. And, you know, to understand a little bit more about what other funding sources the Open Space Committee has available to them. I believe that there's a grant they might be able to utilize that is being, you know, there is some grant funding that they're utilizing now for their work with FERCog, and there may be some other grant funding.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Linda. I don't think we should try to make any decisions today. The question, I guess, is should we even talk to the Open Space Committee about this possibility, or just sit on it for a while and think about it?
What I'd suggest is that we take a vote about tabling it, and then plan on having them come to a meeting if we find that we're comfortable that there's a path.
Sounds like a good idea. So we'll table it for today and then schedule them
We
into,
do our research.
yeah, and then schedule them into another meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we think if we think it makes sense
Yes, if we make.
for them to come.
Of course.
So who's going to do the research?
Well, I'm the piece I can take is getting back to Donna on this one. And you know what else I can do? I will get in touch with Jen Goldson and I will ask her for some names of some communities that have used their admin funds. And then typically what communities do is they'll get a letter from their town councils. So ideally we would find another community that did that and have a letter from their town council that said yay or nay on the use of admin funds for this activity.
Okay.
So I'll take that. It might, if there's any follow-up to that, you know, I might ask Alan to, you know, do some more digging, but the minimum is getting Donna and then getting some names of communities from Jen Goldson.
Okay.
okay.
And you're going to do that, Rita?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And is who's going to contact the Open Space Committee?
Well, we will certainly send them a notice that it was found to be not
No,
eligible.
but for them to come to our meeting.
Oh, well, either Rita or I will do that whenever
If you could do that, Alan, that would be great.
whenever we schedule the next meeting.
Okay, so
We have one on the
our
schedule.
our
right?
next meeting is scheduled for February 4th because that's the date we would be reviewing full applications.
Right.
And because they're the full applications, I believe, are due, I don't know, the 1st, I think, the 1st
Mhm.
February.
Yeah.
And so we're scheduled to meet on the 4th. And also, we would, you know, would need to be working at that meeting, talking about our public hearing notice if we're going to, you know, have our public hearing in March as we planned.
We have a time for that.
So the only, I think we typically meet at 7 o'clock, John.
Okay.
The only caveat here is, and maybe Alan, when you write to the Open Space Committee, is just well, it's actually the Conservation Committee who submitted for the trails, but Penny, it's one and the same. You know, we had talked about if they needed a waiver because of this late vote. So February 1st is what, 2 weeks from now? So we're
Yes, and-
just doing their determination of eligibility,
A waiver of the due date,
of the deadline. Yes,
deadline.
yes,
Okay, just
of
to-
that February 1st deadline.
If we do that, then we'll have to rework our schedule for a public hearing.
Right,
Right.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not because they, you know, there was no indication that that one was going to be a problem. Maybe they're working on it already, or they have numbers already, you know, that are enough to complete the final application.
I'll ask Penny if the January
For-
4th due date's okay.
Okay,
February 1, right?
So do we want to schedule them for the February 4th meeting? The Open Space Committee?
Oh.
Can we do everything at once?
It's a lot.
yeah, no, I'd rather not have them at that meeting. I might not have enough time to get all the answers back, so I'd say the following meeting. Because again, we're talking about, it's not up against the deadline for the public hearing or anything else.
Right.
Right.
So
That the consideration of using admin funds is not relative to
Right.
our review
Right.
of applications to move them, you know, as to whether we recommend a town meeting.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So February 4th, we're going to be reviewing three.
Right now, we have 3 applications.
We have
Yes.
what?
3 approved,
Right,
we have 3 approved determinations of eligibility. And we
Right.
will be, assuming we get final applications for all 3 of those, we will be reviewing 3 applications.
that's doable.
Yeah. And
Okay.
what we'll do is when we get them in, then copies will be sent to everybody in advance of the February 4th meeting.
So if you
And if
got,
you feel like,
if you got them in earlier, you'd appreciate it.
okay, yes, yes.
I'm giving a hint.
Yeah. The earlier, the better.
Ours is almost all written, so we're good.
Great,
Oh, great.
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 So we still have no meeting where we're going to invite the Open Space Committee.
No, let's just say at a future meeting. We will invite them to a future meeting, date to be determined.
We have nothing going on in April, May, and June. Except maybe getting vaccinated.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fingers.
I think we're all eligible as I look across.
yeah. I don't know, Linda's only 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the white? Yeah, I'm over the mark.
Looks like my.
Okay,
fourth
Elaine, so did we had an official vote?
Yes.
We had the votes we needed to take. Okay, just
Yes,
making
but
sure.
it was not eligible, it was unanimous, and we tabled for further research on the use of our funds. Okay,
Okay,
that's it.
There- is there anything else?
I think we have 2 sets of prior minutes.
Yes.
Right.
10:29 and 12:10, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we do. But let's not do them today.
No, I wasn't suggesting now. It's just for when we meet again, we'll, you know,
We still have to do those.
we have to
Yeah.
do those. Yeah,
10:29 and 12:10.
yes.
Okay,
Where the hell's my notebook? What did I do with it? Oh.
Are we all set?
Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, I think we are. Anybody else have anything else?
Nope.
Rita?
Nope, just a motion to adjourn.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Seconded it?
Second. Second.
So Elaine made the motion to adjourn. Rita seconded it. All in favor? Rita?
Farrell, I.
Linda?
I.
Elaine?
Aye.
John?
Nope.
John?
Aye.
You and, oh, okay. And it looks like we're unanimous again.
Okay.
Aye.
Hey.
Alan, aye. Okay,
Great.
so
Okay,
we'll be in
thanks,
touch.
everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for your-
everybody.
Take
Bye.
care, take care, everybody.
I'm waving, bye.
Bye.
Bye.